All right, as I said at the top, it was all about LeBron James last night. He goes out, needs 13 points to pass Michael Jordan and move to 4th on the all-time scoring list for NBA players. And he does it midway through the second quarter, gets his 13 points. Ended up with, 31 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, something like that. I mean, LeBron just puts up those numbers in his sleep. It's amazing that in a year that has no doubt been a down year for him and certainly for his team, that's an understatement. He's still putting up numbers that rival his career that actually are right there with his career numbers.
But the numbers this year just feel empty. I mean,
because you're not winning,
right?
And I get it,
and it just tells you how big that winning.
Yeah, when you don't win, they are somewhat empty. But he's still able to go out in his 16th year, give you 27, 8, and 8. So that's a big accomplishment. But here's what I want to say, Rob, and I think this is an angle that a lot of people have missed. When you look at the top 5 scorers of all time, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Karl Malone, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, and Michael Jordan, in that order, only 2 of them were hyped as prodigies from a very young age, early in their high school careers, and that was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and LeBron James. Now, of course, Kobe came straight out of high school to the NBA, but, and he had some degree of hype, but nothing compared to what LeBron got. Kobe was drafted 13th. LeBron was drafted 1st, of course, so that was different. Michael Jordan was somewhat of a late bloomer. We all know the legendary story about him not making his varsity team when he was a sophomore. We know Karl Malone went to Louisiana Tech, so he wasn't any blue chip recruit coming out of high school. And so I wanted to just say that for LeBron James, and obviously Kareem did it as well, but for LeBron James to live up to the hype and maybe even go further than the hype is very impressive. We've seen a lot of guys who at a young age are viewed as the next biggest thing. Sebastian Telfair was viewed as the next great point guard. Obviously, that didn't work out. Demetrius Walker at 14 was put on the cover of Sports Illustrated as the next big thing in basketball. He never even got to the NBA. O.J. Mayo was the next LeBron. Derek Carrick. I mean, I can go on and on. And a lot of guys that were the next guy did at least make the NBA, but never panned out. They were role players. You remember a guy, Marcus Liberty, Rob, went to Illinois, was supposed to be the next Magic Johnson and so on and so forth. So I do want to give credit to LeBron James for having that hype as a 15-year-old kid, if not a little bit earlier, and living up to it, if not surpassing it. That's not easy to do, especially in this day and age with social media, with the extensive coverage, the debate shows where he had people killing him every day, picking things apart. Michael Jordan, Magic, they never had to deal with things like that. So while I know that he has his detractors out there, and certainly this is a year that hasn't been great for him, but LeBron James did live up to the hype, and that's odd. That's unusual. So I think last night was just the latest reminder that this is one of the few guys that was hyped as a prodigy from a young age and actually lived up to the hype.
That's all good and well, and it was well stated by you for a historical standpoint, Chris. But
you agree? I mean, you're not at least gonna give a paragraph of love to him for that?
It's unbelievable.
You already ready to go? I could just that's fine. But
no,
I heard the big but.
It is
on
a
its
big
way.
but
no. I mean, at least give him that's Rob. You and you've been in the business longer than me.
I just said that you nailed it on the historical reference on how it fits in. I get that.
If it was Kyrie or Bryce Harper or any of the I don't know how many baseball players there even are, 1,200, but if it was any of them, you'd have given them love.
No. My only issue with it is, as much of you just put into all of that and the historical standpoint and the love, Where was the love last night when the moment happened, Chris Broussard? Where were his teammates? Where were the Laker fans in Los Angeles? He didn't do this in Denver or did this in Brooklyn. He did it at home with the Lakers. And go read Bill Plaschke's column in the LA Times. If you didn't watch,
it was a great column.
If you didn't watch it yourself, that's the part that I can't get over. I can't get over about a guy who's done all that he's done, accomplished all that he's done, kept his nose clean, did all these other things, Chris, and people on this day act like it was just any other day. It was so disappointing as I watched. And supposedly the NBA told him not to stop the game.
They told the Lakers
what the hell with the NBA? What's the fine you're going to give me? Give me a fine. I'm stopping the game. I just don't even understand that. I don't buy that for 1 second. They didn't stop the game.
You don't think the NBA told them?
I'm telling you that the Lakers could have still stopped the game. I don't care what the NBA says.
That's a good point.
That's a big
I'm
moment.
with you on that.
He's fed so many people in this league over the last 16 years, Chris. Am I right?
No question. No question.
So why in the world are they going to do him like that and cheat him? And where were the fans? I just don't even understand it. I guess these are the people who covered up his mural twice. I mean, this is amazing on the non-love. And I know that people are not happy that they're not going to make the playoffs, Chris. I got it. But there's a time to take a moment and pause and give credit where credit is due. And nobody did it last night for LeBron. Not his teammates, not the opponents, not the fans in L.A. What does that say about LeBron? 16 years in, passing Michael Jordan, all the numbers, all the points, all the assists, 3 championships, all the finals appearance. It says something about him when people won't even stop to give you the honor. He had to go hug Caruso. Nobody even came over. You saw the video. You saw it, Chris.
That's what the thing when I was watching it.
Am I wrong? No, I'm asking you.
Well, I think you make a good point. I'm going to address it. Firstly, watching it, I was surprised that none of his teammates, like I was expecting them to surround him and hug him and, all of
high
that.
Fives all around, something.
Right. I mean, he caught up with Rondo. And I mean, he and Rondo, we've seen them out. Was it at the Duke game or a football game? Like, they've hung out together, so they must have a decent relationship. But the hug was a little lukewarm,
It
right?
was lukewarm.
It wasn't like
it
this
was like
great,
the hug you gave your
boy,
aunt.
You did it, my man, And then, like you said, he found his way to Caruso, and he hugged Caruso, right? Like
he was like, and then after he hugged him, he said, "What's your name? Who are you?" I mean, it was like that. You're hugging a dude in high school you really don't know. He didn't know.
I was surprised. Now, I will say this: it is possible. I think this is a realistic possibility that the other players didn't know.
I don't buy that for one second, Chris.
No, they knew.
I don't buy
Rob.
that.
You think they're keeping track of LeBron James' points in their head?
It was everywhere, all over ESPN.
No, I know
it was everywhere.
I know they knew that he was going to break the record that night, but they might not have known at that point. That's when he hit his 13th point. That's all I'm saying.
So even when they made the announcement,
obviously was keeping it in his head.
Even when they made the announcement, it still was lukewarm, the whole thing. Even the crowd's reaction when they made the announcement.
Well, let me answer you on that part.
I was waiting.
Look, I get it. I wish they had given him more love. But look, let's face it. LeBron James is not yet a Laker. In that, in the sense that I mean. He's not viewed as a Laker. If he had done that in Cleveland, it would have been major love. If he had done that in Miami, it would have been major love. He's not viewed as a Laker yet.
He doesn't need to be viewed as a Laker. He's an all-time great player in this league.
He didn't break the record yet. He passed Michael Jordan.
I know
That's
he
the
didn't.
thing.
But it was big.
He only got to number 4.
It was a big enough deal.
For him.
It was but it was a big enough deal on everything. It was covered. It wasn't like it wasn't covered. Wait a minute. And
but he didn't officially break a record. To him, it was a huge deal. The media is always looking for an angle. You know that. But at the end of the day, he didn't break
to pass one of the greatest players of all time, and it's not a big deal.
Are we going to do that every time he passes? Somebody's going to pass a few more.
We're going to have. We
didn't do anything when he got the assist mark. Broke into the top 10.
This is passing Michael Jordan. We do have the audio of the crowd last night at the Staples Center. That's so nice.
I think that's you, Rob, and Deb.
That was so good.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Look, his first year, when he came here, it wasn't really a full-fledged rivalry because he and Kobe obviously never met in the finals. There's a little bit of gap in their ages. But in terms of who was that best player of that era on the perimeter, there was a real rivalry between LeBron and Kobe, and still is in the fans' eyes. And so when LeBron comes to the Lakers, Kobe fans are irate. We saw that with the defacing of the murals. Then LeBron gets here, and the season has been a disaster.
But when Kobe...
in large part because of things he's done. And that, I'm telling you, to me, it does make sense, as unfortunate as it is, because if this season were going great, if they were the 4th seed, then I think the fans would have been all up into it.
Hey, Chris.
And so would his teammates. But the way it's gone, they don't view him yet as a full-fledged Laker like Kobe, Magic, Kareem, Shaq, any of those guys.
I think you're giving him a benefit of the doubt that he doesn't deserve from this standpoint. That when Kobe broke the record to pass Michael Jordan, he was in Minnesota. And Chris, go look at the YouTube of the crowd reaction to a visiting player when he did it. It was unbelievable in Minnesota. So don't tell me that because he ain't a Laker that they didn't do that. They're supposed to respect the game.
The Lakers fans are salty. They're salty. They were polite. They gave him a polite applause because they're upset. That's it. That's what it is.
It's got to be. You got to be bigger than that in the
fans
moment.
weren't upset.
You got to be bigger than that in the moment. You do.
You wouldn't be, Rob. You'd do the same thing.
I'm not a fan. I'm a reporter, and I've told you.
Whatever. You do the same thing. And Bryce Harper and Mike Trout beg to differ.
Why are you bringing up that? Stop it. That's such a crutch. Stop it.
All right, your turn to weigh in. Were you disappointed about last night? Why did it happen?
LeBron's going to call in, I think. LeBron will call in on this one.
Me?
Let's see what the callers think, Rob.
All right, let's get it kicked off with Tom in Nashville. You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Tom?
First off, I want to say huge fan of the show.
Thank you. Thank you, bud.
And a point I want to make is what was the Lakers for the last 4 or 5 years? They were
no playoff teams, right? 5 years.
Completely
this will be the
dysfunctional.
6th straight year they missed the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, LeBron James comes there and gives these guys, he's at least trying to turn his organization around, make them relevant. And those ungrateful fans, I'm a Laker fan, those ungrateful fans sit there and didn't give that man the love and appreciation for the game that he deserves. And if I was him, I would request a trade tonight.
Are you serious? You're not serious.
Hey, Tom, did we lose you? He's gone.
He didn't have the heart for the debate.
Yeah, Tom, I mean, Chris was asking you. I don't know why you hung up. He wasn't yelling at you. He was just saying, like,
right. No, I'm not yelling. I want to hear.
I'm going to say this, though. I'm going to say, and you can say.
That's too far.
You can say I'm a LeBron hater, but he was disrespected last night. I'm telling you, Chris. I think that they did him a disservice. Well, I don't care what the season's about.
He's been disrespected.
He's one of the greatest players who's ever played.
No doubt about it.
And you don't poo-poo a moment like that. I'm sorry.
Well, think about, they chanted what? We want Kobe the other night when he was at the free throw line?
Yep.
Like, they're salty. I agree with you. Now, look, I will say it wasn't breaking the record. I think that would have been, if they had done it then, it would have really stood out. And it did stand out, no doubt. And I get their disappointment with the way things have gone, but he deserves more love. But that's too far, don't you think? Requesting a trade?
No, he ain't going nowhere. He came here to live, and so that's out of the question. I don't. Where's he going? Yeah, trade me to New Orleans for Anthony Davis. I don't think so. What about Kyler in Nebraska? You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Kyler?
Hey guys, how's it going? What are you guys up to?
All is
good,
good,
talking
man.
A little bit.
Hey, I'm a big fan of the show. I just want to let you guys know, even bigger LeBron fan, but I think it's absolutely ridiculous that Doc Rivers can stop a game and honor Dirk Nowitzki just for coming into the game, and LeBron can't even get some love for passing Michael Jordan
absolutely
on the all-time scoring list.
Kyler,
Great point.
It's just absolutely. that Doc Rivers grabbed the mic and stopped the game.
Great
I
point.
thought that was ridiculous. They didn't even, no teammates came and surrounded him, nothing. They just went on with their business, normal timeout, didn't give him any kind of respect. I thought he was completely disrespected in his own town last night.
That's what stood out most to me was the teammates. Like, no, they didn't surround him.
They could have just surrounded him, pounded him on the back.
Right. From Rondo and a guy who never plays came in and challenged him.
That's exactly.
Nobody said a word to LeBron.
Yep.
I thought it was crazy.
That is bad.
You know what it look, and I wish it hadn't happened because I think LeBron deserved a lot more than that. But it speaks to the level of anger and dysfunction within the team. That's what it speaks to.
No, there's no doubt.
These
it tells
dudes are hurt. They're salty.
And they're fractured, and they're not feeling LeBron.
That's what it is.
We got time for another one? We do. What about David in Nebraska? You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio, David.
Hey, thanks so much, fellas. Look, I thought I was the only NBA fan here in Nebraska. But anyway, let me say I love y'all's show, man. I look forward to getting home every night and listening to it, man. I really do love it.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you, David. Thanks.
But yeah, look, man, a few of us here in Nebraska do care about the NBA. I've been a Laker fan for 40 years, and look, fellas, I know what you're saying. I can't speak for how his teammates reacted or how other players in the league reacted because I don't know nothing about that relationship. But what I know, why do I, as a Laker fan, I don't know, what do I owe LeBron? I don't owe him anything, man.
You don't owe him. You don't owe him
accomplishment.
But wait a minute, you don't owe him on a moment like that where you pass arguably the best player in the game, and you can't give him a thunderous ovation or stand up for more than 8 seconds. I just thought it was lame.
Yeah, I get you, Rob. I feel you, man. But look. First of all, LeBron. It's not like he's been here for 15 years. Like he's from LA or anything like that. Yeah, maybe he should have got a little more applause or whatever. But look, man, my team's worse since he got here. The last dude said request
That's
a
what
trade.
I was going to ask you, David. Let's hypothetically, if they were still in the 4th seed and there hadn't been all of this drama and dysfunction, would you and do you think the average Laker fan would have felt differently and would have gave him this huge ovation last night?
Yeah, probably. But look, man, he just ain't going to be one of us, and probably until it's a title, fellas.
Wow.
That's just the realism, you know.
But
if
LeBron,
he brings a title, I think he'll be more accepted into the Laker family or whatever, if you will. But right now, man, you come in, you try to trade my whole team, and then you pretend like you don't understand why they don't want to play with you. Yeah, make that trade. AD for LeBron right now, I'd take it. Thanks, fellas.
Wow. All right, thanks, David, for the call.
That's the sad reality, Rob.
But LeBron Chris should supersede team loyalty, team brand.
But like
he's supposed to.
Unfortunately, I think that's the sad reality. And we bring him in every week. It's great to talk to him. He's a Fox Sports NFL analyst, also a Super Bowl champion. And he knows all sports, so we will not just limit this knowledge to football. We are bringing in the one and only Greg Jennings. Mr. Jennings, what's up, man?
How are you?
What's going on, fellas? I'm excellent. Been a while.
What did you make of what happened last night at Staples? LeBron passes Michael Jordan. Few of his teammates come up to him. None of the opponents did any, came over to acknowledge it. And then the fans were just lukewarm. It was like he was an opposing player being, given applause rather than one of the greatest players who ever played. What did you make of that?
Yeah, I thought that was very disappointing from a spectator standpoint. Just watching that, a guy who accomplished a feat like that, he deserves a lot more. And I think, I fault, honestly, the Lakers organization for not making it more of a bigger deal, understanding the situation. Everybody's a little bitter about what's going on and the playoffs. But all of that aside, when a player of his caliber, LeBron James caliber, an all-time great, accomplishes a feat like that, surpassing one of the arguably, in my opinion, the GOAT, the numero uno GOAT, he deserves more than what we saw him get last night. So I was disappointed as a fan, as a former player. you say you don't expect anything, but you want something more than what he got. And I just feel like he deserved a lot more than what happened.
No question. I think obviously he is not viewed by the fans in LA as a Laker yet. What do you think will have to happen for them to embrace him as a Laker?
Well, I think we all understand why he came there and why what the goals are with him coming to an organization with as rich history as the Los Angeles Lakers, to bring them back to prominence. And prominence is not the playoffs. It's not a first round out of the playoffs. It's NBA championships. So I think until that happens, he will never be looked upon as a Laker, because he would not have established himself as a Laker great. Yeah, did he pass Michael Jordan in points in a Laker uniform? Of course, but none of that really happened with him being a true Laker. That happened with him being a Cavalier and a Heat. So these fans understand that this is a guy. We understand the talent. We understand the greatness. But look, you understand what is on our plate and what the expectations of you are when you took this on. So I think he understands that. He's fully aware. He's a competitor. He's disappointed with the outcome of the season and where they are. And I don't think that we should hold the fans responsible for the way they're treating him because of the expectations, because he knew the expectations going in, even though it was a bad team last year and the year before, and he was going to have to overcome a lot, but that's what he's been known to do. You got to get it done.
Hey, when we filled in, the three of us on Undisputed, I just remember Greg and Chris talking about how the Lakers were going to make the playoffs, and there was one lone wolf who sat there and tried to convince you.
Greg, I've been dealing with this for 2 weeks.
You know it. My chest is stuck out.
Oh, my God. After the beating he took in the NFL season.
You think AB is Mr. Big Chest? I'm Mr. Big Chest right now.
Hey, Rob, you know what? I know how to respectfully bow out and say, you know what? Yeah, the Lakers, they disappointed, and you were right. Is that what you want to hear?
Yes.
You were right.
Yes, I want to hear that.
He rarely hears that, Greg.
I don't care. I want to hear
that
now.
in years. So you just made his day. I haven't told him that yet. I can't get myself to say it. All right, Greg, let's move to the NFL. Antonio Brown, who you have a relationship with, the talk is that everybody seems to think he's going to end up with the Raiders. I mean, it's not for sure, but that's the heavy speculation. Do you like him there? Obviously, as a receiver, you need a quarterback that can get you the football. Derek Carr has had his moments. Do you like that combination? And do you think AB can, continue to have a prolific career there with the Raiders and Derek Carr if that's where he ends up?
First, I would say this. I think Antonio Brown, in any situation, you get better as an offense. You have an electrifying player on the offensive side of the ball that can drastically impact and change the course of the game. However, I don't think Oakland is that place for him. When I look at Oakland, understanding what they're trying to do, what they got rid of in Amari Cooper, and we see what the potential is there with a younger player, and their inability to really want to nurture that. And I get it, they're shifting and changing the culture, but you're bringing in a veteran player that has, in most eyes, ruffled and been a part of the ruffling and the kind of falling apart of the Pittsburgh Steelers culture. So I don't see that being a great fit with a young quarterback. Obviously, if we're just playing football, yeah, will he make plays? Will they have flashes? Of course. Can he get the numbers? Yes. How effective will that be off the field in the meeting room with the younger players? Obviously, you still have a Jordy Nelson. Then we would see what that situation would look like to kind of off balance the personalities there. I don't like it personally for AB or for the Oakland Raiders.
Last thing, Greg, we only got about 30 seconds. Would you be disappointed if you found out that Kyler Murray had lifts in his shoes or put cotton in or something? To give him I'm just asking you, if they remeasure him again, which I guess they are going to, and he goes back down to 5'9", would that bother you?
No, it wouldn't bother me. But for me, understanding the way you're measured at the combine, you don't have shoes on.
Oh, well, whatever it is, they said that they're going to remeasure him. They think that he did something to lift his height. I'm just going by the story.
Like when you measure at the combine, you have grays on. That is it. So I'm trying to figure out what did they measure him? What did they allow him to put on his feet, if anything?
Maybe he had something underneath the socks.
No, when I say nothing, you're bare.
Oh, I thought you said grays. Okay, so you don't have anything.
Yeah,
underwear.
Gray,
that's it, right?
Yeah, gray shorts. Yes, leggings, tights, whatever you want to call them.
And they do that with every player.
They do that with every player
because they're trying to figure out what happened between when he was the last time he was.
Because he measured 9 and 7/8 at Oklahoma. I would be so disappointed. I can't believe that Kyler Murray would even do something like that, even if it were possible.
Right.
It sounds like it's not even possible.
Well, according to Greg, right? But I don't know. Why would they remeasure him then if he was in bare feet?
I would have loved to see how they, and I missed that part because typically they air that even with a prototype guy that's that highly recognized and obviously potentially the number 1 draft pick, we could see him being measured. So everyone goes in there literally stripped down. Right. The only thing you have on is shorts. You just line up against the wall, and then your height is your height.
Yeah. Look, we had Kyler Murray on our show at the Super Bowl, and I thought he was I think I'm 5'10". I was a little taller than him.
Yeah, I thought that.
But maybe
right.
I'm 5'11".
No, you're not 5'11". Trust me.
I had the Air Vapor Max on, so maybe that gave me an inch or two. But
no, you had those inner soles on.
All right, Greg. Thanks a lot, man.
Thanks,
we
bud.
appreciate the time as always.
And where are my wings you owe me?
Oh man, you know what? I got you. But check out Gordon Hayward and them C's. Oh yeah, talk about it.
All right,
all right, we got you.
Just pay up my wings, you and Chris both.